Hey guys, Nick Lilia here with look at your tropical update brought to you by the folks over there at Pine Belt Gutters and Remodeling for August 24th of 2020. And right now we've got a dying Marco and a growing Laura out there, as well as an upper level low, an upper level ridge, another upper level low, a little bit of wind shear, and some warm water thrown in to boot. We'll start things off with Laura. Forecast cone does take this into the coast of either Texas or Louisiana as we head through the day on Wednesday and into Thursday. So sometime overnight Wednesday and into Thursday for a landfall here. Currently wind at 60 miles an hour, gusting to 70 with the pressure at 1,001 millibars. Still moving off to the west-northwest at a pretty brisk 20 miles an hour. That may help us in the long run. I mean, if it still hightails it across the Gulf of Mexico, there's an outside chance that it doesn't really have enough time to get to, a major hurricane or anything like that. Current forecast is to keep it as a Category 2 at landfall. Let's hope that holds, but I'm personally not very confident in that holding. I wouldn't be surprised if it makes a run at a Category 3. Then we got Tropical Storm Marco, which I would argue that the National Hurricane Center is being nice to by calling it a tropical storm. Man, oh man. Hard-pressed to find 40-mile-an-hour wind in here as we head through the next couple of days. You can see these do still overlap across parts of southern Louisiana. I wanted to highlight a couple of things on here. We had that trough that was kind of draped across parts. There we go, draped across parts of the Gulf. That's getting edged back by a ridge of high pressure that's kind of nosing its way into the Gulf of Mexico. That's what's going to allow Laura to sneak into the Gulf, and then the question becomes, when does it turn north and toward the Gulf Coast? And that answer is going to be given by wherever it finds the weakness, which is going to probably be kind of in this ballpark as we head through the day on Wednesday, as a little area of low pressure that's developed in here backs off and to the west-northwest. The ridge pokes its nose into the Gulf, and the difference between these two is going to be the alleyway to get north. It's all a matter of time and unfortunately how things shake out. Marco, what's left of it, is going to sag back off to the west as well. And so everything that's in here, everything is moving to the west. It's all retrograding. We had a ridge of high pressure over. Everything's moving to the west, Laura included. And it will eventually turn north, but it's going to have to do so dodging between a whole mess of stuff that's out here. And then we got another upper level low that's back in behind it that we don't necessarily have to worry about. Tropical storm force wind, you got a pretty good shot at dealing with it across parts of the Louisiana coast. Around here in South Mississippi, 20-30% chance. So far today, we've had wind at about 10 to 20, 25 miles an hour. I think the strongest gust I've seen so far was 31. Futurecast shows Marco falling apart and pushing off to the, you can kind of see it barely left over in here, pushing off to the basically due west. It makes like landfall over maybe the southern edge of Louisiana, but that's about it. And then next up is going to be Laura, which is down here, and you can see Futurecast keeps this thing well to the south of our area. We'll have to kind of wait and see if that's how far south it goes before it starts to make kind of the turn to the north, and how much at this point does it turn to the north, where does it turn to the north, how much does it arc back off to the east. Remains to be seen. We still got to wait for that ridge of high pressure to figure out what that's going to do. One of our models, the GFS here, showing landfall somewhere along the Texas or Louisiana coast as we head through Wednesday night and into Thursday. And then back in behind that, look at all this dry air. After a reasonably active tropics for the last couple of days, I think we can all welcome a little bit of dry air out there. Now, it doesn't last forever. We finally do get a wave back in behind it that breaks off of the African coast. And this one actually has a pretty decent shot within all the models to make it all the way across the open Atlantic as that dry air kind of thins out and get toward the Greater and Lesser Antilles as we sneak our way into September. I will say this, the last wave that came off the coast of Africa also had a pretty good shot within all of the models to do something, and it didn't do anything. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how this next one shakes out. But that's a look at your tropical update for August 24th of 2020, brought to you by the folks over there at Pine Belt Gutters and Remodeling.